And
Yeah.
I want to bring up another story here. And this one's the Jimmie Johnson one, because
Yeah.
Jimmie Johnson has come out and said, I'm going to run the entire season, even the ovals. His best series finish was to date is a pair of 17th place finishes. 17th place. Can you believe that?
It's hard. It's
Yeah.
very hard. People do not realize how difficult it is to change series like that. It's just, and it's gotten harder every year.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
does Johnson have a little bit better feel because he's going to be running ovals? Yes, but don't expect him to set the world on fire on an oval in an
No.
Indy car, because it's not going to handle like those, almost 4,000-pound cars that he was used to.
It just shows you how challenging North America's premier open wheel series for all drivers, even the 7-time NASCAR champ Jimmie Johnson. But Johnson expects the ovals to be a different story for him. He spent most of his career on the ovals in NASCAR. But again, like you said, Michele, I don't believe that this is going to be a walk in a park for him, because they head to Texas this coming week, and that is a fast track.
Man.
And where I'm going with this is that INDYCAR heads to Texas, a 1.5-mile track. We know how fast it is. There's a total, I think, of 5 ovals on the season. There's Texas. They go to Iowa twice. It's a doubleheader, which is 1/8 of a mile. And then they go to Worldwide Technology Raceway, which is 1.25 mile. And then they have the Indianapolis 500, obviously. Yeah. I say you keep the 500. Do you absolutely need ovals in this series? Michele, what do you think?
You know how I feel about ovals. I've never liked them. Indy was the only one that I even paid half of attention to. If Johnson were to be able to crack the top 10 or come close to that top 10 on ovals, on any of these ovals, I mean, he could become an Ed Carpenter. I'll run all the ovals and somebody else do the road racing. But, Johnson is convinced that he can, improve. And this is a new chance for him to give it a shot. He didn't do very well on a street course, but that's not unusual. Street courses are completely different from a regular road course.
Oh, absolutely.
Certainly different from an oval.
That's why I like seeing INDYCAR and that type of racing on the streets and on the road courses, because that's the difference between them and like F1. F1's always going to be, except for like a Monaco, but it's always usually at a track, right? Except for their crown jewel, which is their Monaco race in F1. But they go to in INDYCAR, if they went to the streets and the road courses, I'm fine with that, and keeping the one crown jewel of the Indianapolis 500. Take the other ovals. Even to me, 1/8 of a mile with those rocket ships on there. Are you kidding me?
Sense to me. It does not make sense to me. And with the growth of F1 in the United States, INDYCAR could do worse, than align themselves, because you've got people like Magnussen, who's gone to Haas now.
Right.
You've got other drivers that are, it was the Champ Car days when Montoya and Villeneuve were able to jump out of an Indy car, go to F1 and become, damn near world champions. I mean, Villeneuve did, of course. Montoya, different story. But I think that being able to, it gives more credibility to the road racing side of IndyCar if F1 and IndyCar are closer together. That makes sense, because there's not enough room for all these drivers around the world. There just isn't. They need a place to come to. IndyCar is a place where you want to race against the best. If you're not, it's like playing tennis. You don't want to play tennis against somebody worse than you. You want to play against somebody better than you so that you can learn. And it's the same way with IndyCar and Formula One.
It's funny. I heard somebody say one time, practice makes perfect. And they were like, no, it doesn't. Practice makes you better. And then you get better and better and better. And there isn't perfect.
Yeah, there's no perfect in auto.
Right.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I mean, you can think you've put in the best lap on earth, and then somebody beats you by 1,000th of a second.
Yep.
Which has happened many times in F1.
Yeah, over and over again. It's going to continue to happen.
Now, when does the IndyCar, the actual chassis and all change? What year?
Well, that's when the hybrid, and they're saying 2024.
Yeah, which is going to get pushed back because they're already having trouble with the hybrids and supply chain issues.
Yeah, but they said it was supposed to be, I think, 2023, and then they pushed it back to now it's 2024. So we'll see what happens there. All right, he's Michele Rahal. I'm Rob D'Amico. This is Race Day Nation. We're going to take a break. We come back. We're going to be talking about an IndyCar driver possibly making his way to Formula One, and it's an American, which is pretty cool.